Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things 33 common sense lens. And you know, Netflix is always such a mixed bag when it comes to adaptations and television shows and animation and all of that kind of stuff out there. For every one piece you get a Cowboy Bebop. For every Stranger Things you get, which is actually original, so I guess it's not really an adaptation of anything, but you get all of these other kind of things out there going on. And honestly, the Devil May Cry franchise is a very big one with a very passionate fan base out there, and probably some people were actually probably cautiously optimistic about Netflix coming in and doing an adaptation of it. But boys and girls, needless to say, now that the show has officially been released, any fears that people had from early on have now officially been confirmed, because ladies and gentlemen, not only have they completely and totally screwed the pooch on the series and what good is good and evil is evil kind of situation, no, they've also gone down the same path as the Rings of Powers, because now the demons are just relatable folks out there who are just being pushed around by the evil Americans. And oh, that's right, Christians are bad as well. And boys and girls, we've got a couple of articles to go over here, because as you can see here from Fandom Pulse, Netflix's animated Devil May Cry series trashed for making demons sympathetic, Americans the villains, and portraying Christianity as bad. Oh, color us shocked there. So this article's got a lot of the fan reaction, but our dear sweet Spencer McCooley over there at Bounding Into Comics, who happens to be a pretty big Devil May Cry fan, actually sat down and watched this series and gave us a full review. Now, we're not going to go through his full review, but he's got some actual lines of dialogue from this show. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you're going to still be insane enough to watch this show, there's going to be some spoilers in here, but the dialogue shows you exactly the kind of allegories they are making, and this could not be more on the nose and so obvious, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't just some subtle subtext. No, this is full-blown anti-American, anti-Christian. Oh, the demons are actually just misunderstood villains, because it's not like we've not seen that trope done 5 million times before. But needless to say, this is absolutely horrifying, and it's going to be another disastrous dumpster fire, because Netflix's Devil May Cry has gone woke. So we're going to check out these articles, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what we've got going on here, and then of course some of the fan reaction as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls. We are grinding, we are growing, and we just crossed 1,700. We're on our way to 1,800, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, let us know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Were you one of those out there that was brave enough to watch Netflix's Devil May Cry series from the get-go? What did you think of it? Did you think some of the stuff was a little too over the nose, or did you absolutely enjoy it? Or does this not surprise? Are you one of those ones out there that's going to avoid this like the plague, because it doesn't surprise you at all that Netflix completely and totally screwed the pooch with literally a show that is that should be so simple, just about a guy out there slaughtering evil demons? I don't know where the rocket science is about all of this, but let us know what you think about all that down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. All right, let's just go ahead and jump over here to Fandom Pulse real quick. Netflix's animated Devil May Cry series from producer A.D. Shankar is being trashed for making demons sympathetic, turning Americans into villains, and portraying Christianity as bad. This is great as well. Check this out, because this intro from Spencer is just wonderfully beautiful. Netflix's Devil May Cry turns Dante's story into an allegory for war on terror, complete with American invasion of hell set to Green Day's American Idiot. And my God in heaven, did those guys go completely and I mean, talk about a group that was so punk back in the day. Talk about complete and total sellouts. So what do Green Day, the country of Iraq, and Capcom's Devil May Cry action series all have in common? If you're a person with any sort of sense, you'll know the answer is absolutely nothing. But if you're producer A.D. Shankar, who in taking bastardizing a given piece of source material with a ham-fisted political preaching to a new level, has used Netflix's Devil May Cry animated series as a vehicle to criticize America's post-9/11 invasion of the Middle East. Oh yeah, because isn't it that exactly what you want to talk about in 2025, boys and girls? By the way, Obama just increased all of those numbers and actually, dropped more bombs than Bush ever did. So yeah, how about them apples, Green Day? You weren't so anti-war when it was your guy doing all the bombing, huh? Coming from the same mind responsible for Netflix's previous Castlevania Nocturne. Yeah, I actually gave Castlevania Nocturne a shot. I watched a few episodes of it, and definitely won't be going back and finishing it. I was just like, I needed something to binge for a little while me and the wife were doing something. And yeah, a lot of girl bosses. Like, I like the main character. He's pretty good, but yeah, lots of girl bosses, and lots of women leading places they shouldn't. And there's literally women leading the revolution, essentially, in like World War II, like France and stuff like that. Or not World War II France. It's literally the French Revolution. It's based in the French Revolution, and it's a bunch of women leading the French Revolution in the early 1800s, late 1700s. Yeah, late 1700s. Yeah, it's bad. Don't watch it. It's bad. Expectations for Dante's latest small screen adventures were understandably extremely low ahead of its official release, sinking even further with each new detail revealed about its production, which is what some of the other quotes we're going to get into in the other article, such as its featuring of contemporary, real-world pop culture references in its script and its ignoring of the game series' iconic soundtracks in favor of a very entry-level new metal picks. And though the preview materials left fans presuming that the worst they had heard from Shanker's latest was an unsurprising misunderstanding of the source material, as best demonstrated by his depiction of Dante as a try-hard, attention-seeking man-child rather than aloof but quick-to-lock-in wisecracker. As the old adage goes, things can always get much worse. So you thought it was going to be bad. No. It's even worse than that. As fans of the game know, the story of Devil May Cry series revolves around an ongoing, seemingly eternal battle between the good forces of the human world and the evil legions of hell, which in this world is a generally supernatural realm akin to its depiction in the Christian religion, and was born from the absolute darkness that existed prior to the concept of light coming into being. As a result of these origins, the inhabitants of hell are creatures of nature of natural evil, existing solely to inflict pain and terror on humanity in order to take over their realm and establish themselves as the ruling class of all existence. And while some are capable of higher thought and even being able to develop genuine love for a human, such as Dante's father Sparta, most demons are nothing more than beasts who care for nothing more than accomplishing their goals. Oh, no, we can't have that. And Spencer goes on to explain all of this too, because now, hell's not actual hell. No, boys and girls, it's just an alternate universe. Yay! More multiverse stuff, because that's not something we've seen done a million times out there before. And it's one of those things too, it goes on, like I said, go read Spencer's article if you want the full thing, but let's just go over some of the highlights out here as well. So this is one of the things, this is all the fans bashing this now that this is some of the fans bashing this prior to the series coming out, and there's more fans bashing it now that it's actually coming out. And we're going to get to some of those insane lines that they get into here in a second. Marshall puts out here, demons aren't evil, you're all just bigots. We're reaching new levels of religion bad we didn't even think was possible. And it's in reply right here, what do we've got? So they infamously worked to cancel, yada, yada, yada. It's just absolutely insane. Shanker replied to the observation writing, feels like a bad faith take. My show isn't saying religion bad. Oh, so Shaker said that's not the case. Oh, really? Bohemian was not buying it. He responded, you wrote the text. The text is clear. It's not our fault. We see it for what it is. Do better. This discussion is over. Oh, ho, ho. Well, here you go. Well, it's not saying that's a bad faith take. You're not liking it from beforehand before you've even seen anything. Well, that's okay, because now they've seen that. As Toasty Haymaker points out, the only character who talks about the Lord is the corrupt politician. You added Jesus Christ to Devil May Cry just to make him an accessory to your obvious setup villain. You lied. That's right. A woke agenda-driven, possessed by the spirit of the age, insane cult member out there lied to you about his series and said, no, you're just gaslighting. That's not what it's going to be, even though we literally get that whole thing right here. I mean, there's actually some wonderful stuff right here as well, because they don't depict hell as hell anymore. Let's see if we can actually find that. Absolutely find that one as well. That's a little bit of the trope right here. But literally, it's one of those things is, he talks about in here, so their current hypothesis, ancestors found. Let's see what we've got here. See if they've got some of this. And the Netflix's Devil May Cry show, America invades hell like it's a Middle East country. Demons are actually refugees of the war caused by Whitey. And literally, it's also explained in Spencer's article over there, too, that one of the situations, too, is like they're all downtrodden people. It's the ruling elites of hell, right, that are causing all of these bad things to happen for all of these people to suffer. So it's literally just the elite's fault all over again. The user also included a full clip of the American military attacking a portal to hell and its denizens, which are seemingly depicted as innocent. Green Day's American Idiot song plays in the background. This is great. They unironically made it about evil Americans invading hell and killing the poor innocent demons, and Green Day starts playing. And that's literally what it is here. It's literally, this is the depiction, right? Learning the law makes a really good comparison right here. Devil May Cry Netflix series. Wait a minute, where have I seen this before? Just like they made the orcs good in the Rings of Power, right? They made them misunderstood, right? They're just refugees. They've done the exact same thing with the demons. I mean, the allegory for the Middle East could not be more on point. I mean, literally, they say it's a terrorist organization that's among all of these group of refugees, right? The refugees aren't the bad people. There's just a few bad apples. Yeah? How's that working out for the United Kingdom, boys and girls? How's that worked out for any place that's allowed this kind of stuff? This is literally this exact same insanity. They're trying to make it a literal allegory for this kind of stuff. Netflix strikes again. So this is where some of the stuff goes into right here. We've got this scene that they're talking about, right? Right? So after managing to invade a subsequent sweep of the apartment by Cavinia Angelino and finding herself shocked that there was a family were not human but demon, Lady, under the influence of a hallucinogen lobbied at her by a said enemy, begins to mistake her host for aggressive hellspawn, prompting her to draw her gun on them under the assumption of self-defense. When tensions rising between both parties by the second, Lady and the family's mother and father proceed to have the following conversation. Now you turn your guns on us? On our kids? Your friends slaughtered my team. You think we're with them? She's a sapien. Of course she thinks all demons are the same. That's right. You're just an istinophobe if you think all demons are the same. If you're not with the White Rabbit's gang, why are you here? We needed a way out. He had one. A way out of where? Oh, hell. You call it a demon realm or hell, but it's not hell. It's worse. A desolate place barely suited for life. And that was before the warlords ravaged what few resources we had and turned the atmosphere toxic. Only the strongest McKillians can stand to breathe it. For those like us, the air itself is poison. Children rarely survive their first year. We couldn't accept that fate. Oh, aren't the demons so relatable? They're just refugees. There's nothing wrong with anything. They're just trying to escape a bad place for their family. And I mean, it gets worse as worse. So here's the VP. Here's the religious guy. Even I, for much of my life, could not comprehend his true plan. God has never asked us to sit idly by and await his kingdom on earth, but to build it ourselves. That's right. The religious guy, the obvious Christian in the story, is a complete and total villain. He's also Vice President of the United States of America, boys and girls. Oh my, oh my. Goes on to a My Fellow American speech. The truth is, hell is real. Demons are real, and we have to stop them. And this is just, we're going to go through some more of the comments from the fans as well. But all in all, however bad you thought Devil May Cry was going to be, it is generally so much worse. And please, dear video game developers, for the love of God, stop letting Adi Shankar handle your IPs. And this is from Spencer, who actually braved it long enough to watch this entire thing. And it's just insane. The allegory, the invasions, the obviously bashing Christianity, bashing the United States of America, making demons just another relatable, misunderstood villain because it's not their fault they're bad. It's the world's fault. They're not evil. It's the corrupt Christian politician who's trying to use his religion as an excuse to go out and take out these poor innocent souls. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I don't care if you liked the show or not. I don't care if you're one of those haters out there. It is very obvious, the quote-unquote allegory that they're trying to make from this Netflix Devil May Cry series out there, which is literally Devil May Cry in name only. This thing is an abomination. This is an affront to every fan out there who ever appreciated any aspect of the true source material of Devil May Cry. And guess what? Netflix, you probably wasted $150-200 million on this thing, and all you have done is given this to an insane cult member to try to push his political agenda using the name of Devil May Cry. Guess what? It didn't work out in any of the other stuff you did, whether it be The Witcher when it got to like season 2 and season 3, and honestly even a bit of season 1, or of course it didn't work out for Cowboy Bebop either. When people always get the little trolls in my comments. Well, what's woke? How do you define woke? It's very simple. Woke is when you decide to put your political agenda over actual good storytelling. And with all of these forced, very obvious references to American politics in a fantasy show about slaying demons, yeah. Boys and girls, that's woke. So Netflix's Devil May Cry series went completely and totally full-blown woke and decided to comment on American politics instead of giving you a good demon-slaying show, which is what you showed up for. Boys and girls, this is absolute insanity. This has cost Netflix hundreds of billions of dollars. This show will never chart on the Nielsen ratings in any way, shape, or form. And guess what, Netflix? You did it to yourself. You hired a bunch of woke activists because you thought they were the new trendy thing, and now the Devil May Cry fans around the world are going to roast you for this. And after all, it's exactly what you deserve.